Hi there, I'm Dr. Ogaro. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking with you about student engagement, how to increase student engagement and how to maintain student engagement doing three things. Those three things are lesson planning, as in you are going to lesson plan for students to be engaged throughout your classroom. Also, you are going to use wait time to increase student engagement. For example, if you ask a question, you are going to wait for students to engage, and not just one student, 2 or 3 students, maybe more. And then the last thing is circulating and facilitating. Those are, I'm calling that one step or one thing, so that when you ask students to engage independently of you in some kind of exploration or application assignment, you are going to circulate around the classroom, facilitating discussions, collecting data, and those would be the three things. So let's just jump in. Before we jump in, actually, I want to let you know that this is the 7th video in the series I'm calling the KISST series, where we are keeping it simple, super teachers. That is, we do not need to work any harder than we are working. We instead need to do less so that our students can do more, because whoever is working the hardest is learning the most. This channel is for teachers of students who are historically marginalized, undereducated, underserved, especially our Black and Hispanic students. All right, let's continue. So, as it relates to lesson planning, you want to build into your lesson plan space for students to be engaged. That means do not jam-pack your lesson with things for you to say and students to be doing. You want engagement to be visible. You want it to be interactive. The best student engagement is either when students are working together and the room is really buzzing, or when you are facilitating a whole class discussion. That's measurable data for you and gives you an opportunity to collect how close students are to meeting the learning objective. If students are off track, if students are actually, further ahead than you thought that they were going to be. So you want student engagement to be visible as much as possible. So build that into your lesson. In one of the videos, the earlier videos, I have a 5-part lesson plan structure that starts with a do now, a quick mini lesson, a chunk of time for students to engage independent of you, a wrap up, and then an exit ticket for you to collect data on who met the learning objective for the day. So in a structure like that, you want to, even in your mini lesson, have opportunities for students to say back to you what it is they understand about the content for the day, ask questions, turn and talk to one another. During the chunk of time that students are engaged with one another or with the work, independent of you, you want to make sure that time is built in for students to actually sit with the content, right? You don't want it to be a rush thing. Let me give you an example. You know how sometimes in the world of Zoom, we are sent off into breakout rooms, and just as we get started in the conversation, just as we start buzzing, the breakout room ends. You don't want that to happen for your students. So make sure that in class you are building in that time for students to kind of settle into the lesson, really understand what it is they're being asked to do, talk to one another about what it is they're being asked to do, and then get into the work. So be very thoughtful in your lesson planning about how much time it's going to take for students to actually get into the work, how much time you want to leave for them to complete whatever the assignment is, and then make sure that you are, third thing, circulating and facilitating that work, right? So you don't want to be putting out fires. This is not the time for you to be giving a mini lesson to individual or small groups of students unless you have pre-identified a small group of students who you know you need to pull aside because they need more of your attention. In that initial time that students have gotten into the work, you want to be circulating around collecting data, which students or group of students are on task and moving smoothly through the lesson, which group of students you need to circulate back to and check in with. You want to know which students are working quickly and that you need to have that extension ready for them to engage with. It's after you collect data that you might pull yourself aside to work with a small group of students, but make sure that in your lesson plan you build in time to circulate and facilitate. Facilitate students turning and talking to each other, okay? You see a group of students who are not yet working, you want to have them pause and say, okay, did everyone read the instructions? Okay, can you guys say back to each other what it is you're being asked to do? Stand there for a few moments and make sure that students actually are talking to one another about what it is they're supposed to do. Then move on to the next group. And you really want to make sure that you stick and move, right? Don't spend too much time with any one individual student or groups of students, because you want to make your way around the classroom at least twice collecting that data. I don't think I talked enough about wait time. So let's go back to wait time. That was that second thing. Now, when you're facilitating a discussion, whether it's during the mini lesson or the wrap up, or even facilitating a discussion within a small group, you want to ask a question and pause. That means do not jump in to answer the question that you have asked. Even if you think that students might be struggling, even if you doubt yourself and you think that maybe your question wasn't clear enough, pause. And if still no one answers your question, you don't want to answer your question yourself. You want to ask another student to restate what you asked. Can somebody restate the question that I asked? Can somebody ask me a question, maybe a clarifying question? Am I being clear? Do you know what I'm asking you? Right? These are questions that you want to ask to facilitate and increase student engagement versus asking a question, hearing crickets, and then jumping in to answer your own question. Because whoever's doing the work is doing the learning. And you already have your degrees. So it's time to make sure that your students get theirs, okay? So this quick chat has been about student engagement, increasing and maintaining it. I hope you have found it helpful. If you have, please do leave some comments in the comment section. Also, please share this video with a hardworking teacher friend of yours who you believe would benefit from hearing what it is I had to share today. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you soon, and thank you again for tuning into this channel. This is the 7th video in the KISST series, where we are keeping it simple, super teachers. And I'll be sure to link the other videos in the description section. Have a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye.